how's it going? It's Blepnir here with another team for y'all. Today we're going to be looking at Herdier in the Great League with access to the new move Sand Attack. And let me tell you, this is a very interesting Pokemon because of that ground type coverage without having the weaknesses to ground type moves. It can pair pretty well with a water type like the Shadow Feraligatr you can see on the screen, as well as a fire type because it has access to Thunderbolt, which is nice coverage versus opposing water types. And obviously it has very nice coverage versus Lantern, which is of course everywhere in the meta right now. And that makes it pretty powerful in the lead. The Feraligatr, of course, is a fantastic safe swap. Y'all, if you guys don't have a Shadow Feraligatr, I would try to get one, or a regular Feraligatr even. It's a fantastic safe swap. And the Crocolore in the back was such a fun pick. I just got this Crocolore this morning, actually. And I was so happy to get it because I've been wanting one of these for a long time, and it's super high rank, super bulky compared to the other two Pokemon at least. And in general, this team was super fun to use. Once again, having a great time with Sand Attack, just like the last team that I used, which utilized Sand Attack Sandslash, which I'll include in the description down below. But anyways, let's see how this team does in action. So first off, we have our Herdier into Whiscash, and this is a very neutral lead. You're gonna see a lot of neutral leads here. The problem is that if we get a debuff from the Scald, then we're gonna struggle a lot. We do not get the debuff, and now we know that they have to go up to 6 more mud shots, or 5 more mud shots rather, to get to their next Scald, and they only farmed up 4 there. So we know that this is just a Mud Bomb. We call it correctly. We go into our Feraligatr, and this is a good matchup for us, especially when they don't switch out. They CMP tie us to the next Mud Bomb, and they shield. Actually, they don't CMP tie. Apparently, we just we denied their fast move there, which is good for us. They throw a Body Slam on Greedent. Greedent is not fantastic for us because they resist our Shadow Claws, and in general they're just so bulky and so spammy that they can usually just out-spam us here. But they do shield, and so now we're up 2 shields to 0. Still very early on in the season. We see opponents doing stuff that I probably wouldn't see later on in the season when we're at higher elo. But that's okay, you know. So we're deciding actually to shield and go for another Hydro Cannon. And you can see there, Hydro Cannon does so much damage to the very bulky Greedent. It's very satisfying damage there. And we're just going to let this go because we've done enough to the Greedent that we should be able to incinerate them down. And because we are a pure fire type as opposed to the Skeledirge, we will be able to take neutral damage from crunches. But of course we do also take neutral damage from Body Slams. So we do decide to shield up that Body Slam there, which is fine. Because now we have a lot of energy, and they have a Togetic in the back. So this is definitely not over for us. We have to hope that we can take them out in 2 Disarming Voices. So we throw the first one, and then we CMP tie them, and this should just be a Aerial Ace. So let's see how much this does. And that doesn't do half of our health. So we are actually going to be able to survive at the next Aerial Ace. And notice that we farmed up to double moves. We knew that they weren't going to get to an Ancient Power here, and we knew that we also needed double moves because the Whiscash is either about to get to a move or already at a move. So we throw this next Disarming Voice. We throw the Crunch onto the Whiscash, and you see there that was actually a CMP tie. So if we didn't farm up to double moves, we would have lost that. Very close game, very fun end game there, and that is a good game. Next up, we have Herdier into Skarmory. This is a negative lead for Herdier. This was pretty early in my sets, and I actually ended up switching out into Feraligatr versus Skarmory in later battles. But here, what I'm thinking is that I either do a ton of damage here, or I get a shield, and I do a ton of damage. And so ultimately, I probably should have just gone straight to Feraligatr rather than letting them get all that energy. But surprisingly, they're not throwing their move. And so this is very good for me, because we would have absolutely had to shield even a Sky attack, because we are so delicate with our Feraligatr. They farm up so much, they throw the Sky attack, they throw this next Sky attack, and we are going to double shield, because they did use one shield, and usually energy on Feraligatr can go pretty far. So as you see here, we already have another Hydro Cannon. And they come into a Clodsire. So assumedly they have something that's very weak to Feraligatr in the back if they're coming with Clodsire. We reach double moves. And I think that they're at a Sludge Bomb here. Yeah, we seem to be tied to the Sludge Bomb. And we are going to live a Sludge Bomb. Not easily. But Feraligatr has enough bulk that this won't quite take us out. Probably will put us into farm down range though, unfortunately. Yeah, that's definitely farm down range. So we go into the Crocalor, and we will outpace them to an Earthquake, I think that we would have also outpaced them to a Stone Edge. If they threw the Stone Edge, it would have been at the same turn where they fainted, so they wouldn't have made it. So here they have a Phalanx to the back, and that is just GG's, because we have this brilliant coverage move in the Disarming Voice. But even if we didn't have Disarming Voice, 2 charge moves should have taken them out. Phalanx is a very spicy choice, but it just does not have the moveset for the current meta, I think. So a very spicy team by the opponent. This is what makes the early season so fun, I think, is just so many people using these fun choices that we don't see later on in the season, as long as you've been climbing. And so now we have Drifblim in the lead, and this is an incredibly neutral matchup for us, because we have access to Thunderbolt, and we do take a little bit longer to get to moves than they do, but we do super effective damage. So we have to see if they shield. They do shield, and getting a shield advantage is really good here, because our backline is not necessarily that weak to Drifblim. So we're going to tank an Icy Wind here, and we are going to wait for them to switch, and then we switch into our Feraligatr. This is sort of a dicey situation, but we have a shield advantage. And what that means is that we're actually going to be able to just straight up win this matchup. Because yeah, they triple axle us here. They're going to do a lot of damage with these counters. But we get to double Hydro Cannons before they get to their next triple axle, and we win CMP. So even if they tie us to this next triple axle, the next triple axle to this Hydro Cannon, they're not going to be able to get it off. So we are able to win the secondary matchup and still maintain our shield advantage, which is quite nice. Still maintain some health too. We probably could have let the triple axles go, but here, because we save so much health, they're forced to throw energy. We shield this because we recognize that we can outpace them to the move. We're not going to throw an alignment, which probably would have been smarter, but this is just going to do so much damage here. Doesn't quite take them out. Drifblim showing its bulk, and this is unfortunate. So they actually lagged here, but this game would have been over, I'm pretty confident, because we still have 3 Pokemon on the field, yeah, so they come back here. So I don't think that they were I don't think they're giving up, because they had a lot of play still, but with 3 Pokemon still on the field and being able to Shadow Claw down that Drifblim in the back, I think that is a GG's. So next up, we have Herdier into Lantern, and this is exactly where we want to see the Lantern. This is fantastic. This is what we have coverage for. This is what we are hunting with the Herdier. They come into the Scrafty. We're very slow to switch out, unfortunately. But here is the strength of Disarming Voice, because we are just going to be able to one-shot this Scrafty if they decide to no-shield it. I am anticipating that they're going to shield. We go for an extra move anyway, which, that is correct move timing because we have a 5-turn move, they have a 2-turn move. If we throw one Incinerate and then throw, we only give them 1 turn of energy, right? But at this point, they're so low that even if we had like a neutral damage move, they probably still have to shield, honestly. So they do shield, that's fine, because now we have a 2-shield advantage. And this team does pretty well with a 2-shield advantage. The problem is that they're not quite within range for a dig, and they are at a triple boosted power-up punch here. Or double boosted. I think they're double boosted, but you can see that one counter did so much damage to the Herdier. And so we catch the power punch here, which is not a fantastic situation because we take so much damage from it, but we get a really nice farm down. And we still have so much health on the Herdier. We probably can take out this Lantern with 2 Hydro Cannons. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. But let's see what happens here. They switch into the Lantern, right? So they're switch locked, which is good for us. We are going to be able to not farm them down. So we have to shield once. But I don't think we have to shield twice. We do have to shield twice. That's horrible. I thought that we would be able to sneak through a move and take them out there, but Lantern's a little bit too bulky. Survived the sand attack. And now we suddenly are in the 0 shields, and this is not looking great. But they come in with Scrafty, and that's not a good idea. And they have a Steel Wing and Empoleon in the back, and this should be a GG's. Luckily, it's a Shadow Empoleon. If it was a regular Empoleon, I don't think the Thunderbolt would take them out. But Shadow Empoleon, yeah, that is some quality damage there. Very super effective damage. I don't think a dig would have been quite enough, but it might have been. But here we have the worst lead we can see. We see the Medicham in the lead. I would have thought the Medicham would be extinct by now with Feraligator's buff and with the, Annihilate, but so many other great alternatives to Medicham now in the meta. But Medicham's still kicking. We switch into our Feraligator safe swap. They switch into their Quagsire, and Quagsire will be able to flip this matchup. You can see here the buffed Aqua Tail is really showing its strength. I don't think the 2 Aqua Tails would have been able to take us out before the buff, but here we tie them to the move. And so at the very least, we're going to be able to get both their shields. And that's fantastic. So it's a 2-0 shield situation. We do shield, and I think that that's a mistake because we are going to have to double shield to win this matchup. I'm not sure if we want to do that. Yeah, this is definitely a mistake by me. I should have just come in with the Herdier and farmed down. They have Umbreon in the back, so actually not terrible. I was anticipating that I would actually get farmed down by whatever they had in the back, but getting off this Hydro Cannon is more than worth the 2 shields, in my opinion, because we also have alignment here. And so we're just going to use the Herdier as a meat shield and take these foul plays. Herdier's not the bulkiest Pokemon, but it's a little bit bulkier than Stoutland. Hopefully we can take these moves, and we can. They come to him with Medicham, and then they throw immediately. And so with this, the opponent actually throws the game. If they had saved their energy for the Crocalor, I think that they could have won. But because they just throw straight power-up punch here, they're not going to be able to threaten the Crocalor. They could have gone up to the Psychic, and then they would have had a better chance. But I'm pretty sure that we could have still incinerated them down. It's not totally over because the Umbreon is still so healthy, but now it's over because this super effective Disarming Voice is going to do more than enough to put them into dig range. They're not going to get to 2 foul plays versus our Herdier, especially not when they throw it. Okay, they get an extra farm there, so now they are going to get to... I'm pretty sure that they were at a foul play, but regardless, a foul play wouldn't take us out, and that is a good game. Very satisfying win versus a very bulky meta team. The Medi Umbreon core that I thought would be extinct this season. We taught them why it should be extinct, right, guys? And so here we have a late stream battle against Skarmory, and so we correct our mistake. We go directly into the Feraligatr. We bait out the Lantern, which is what the Feraligatr is supposed to do. And Feraligatr has such a better matchup with Lantern than the Crocalor because we're able to do so much more damage with these Hydro Cannons than the Crocalor would do with its charged moves, and also able to do neutral damage with these Shadow Claws. We force a shield, which is huge. I don't think they had to shield there, but it's good that they did because we have a shield advantage. They have so much energy though. They were able to farm us all the way down, and we probably have to eventually shield one of these Surfs. I'm expecting them to go straight Surf. They're already at another one, so we probably have to throw either before they reach the Surf or shield up a Surf. They go into the Skarmory, and this is the best thing that they could have done for us. Definitely not an advisable move. If you are in the opponent's situation, I would not give up alignment like that, because they fought so hard for alignment. They used a shield on their Lantern. So if you're gonna fight that hard for alignment, definitely do not just give it up like that. And they throw the Brave Bird, which is quite nice, because otherwise I might not have taken them out with a single Incinerate. They might have gone to double Sky attacks. But here we can take out the Lantern. We are able to farm up a little bit. I didn't want to farm up too much before taking them out, but we have a shield, and this should be a good game because Incinerate plus 2 crunches is more than enough to take out this Shadow Gligar here. Even a regular Gligar, I think, would have gone down to all this fast move pressure, all this charge move pressure. Incinerate is just, even though it's been a season since the Incinerate buff, I'm still just in awe at it, and just I can't believe how good this is as a move. I remember Incinerate back in the day, and it just seems so overpowered now. This is a great lead for us because we deal super effective damage with our Sand attack, and then we can shield this. I no-shield it, knowing that it takes me out. That's a very questionable play. I just didn't want to go down shields, honestly, in this lead matchup. So now we have to go into the Crocalor. They immediately swap into their Gligar, and we just have to hope that they shield this. Because they're scared of the Crocalor, right? They know the Crocalor can just completely farm down their Magnezone, so they do shield. And now we are going to take this dig from the opponent. It's going to be painful, but we want to maintain our shield advantage and hope that Crocalor can sweep in the back with 2 shields. We throw the Hydro Cannon, we take them out. This is not a super great situation because they're going to be able to get 2 Volt Switches. If we let them farm us down a little bit more with the Gligar, then they would have only gotten 1 Volt Switch. But here we have to shield. The Wild Charge makes it so that we definitely take them out with the Incinerate. And they have Altaria in the back. And I thought that this game was over at this point because I just expected to get Dragon Breath down. You see there that we're actually already at 50% health. And we have to get off 2 more Disarming Voices. But Incinerate, just showing its strength as an energy charging move. High damage move, high energy move. Incinerate has it all, and we're able to double up on our Disarming Voices and take out the Altaria there. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that is just Crocalor showing its strength once again versus a very meta team. Herdier into Poliwrath. This is probably even worse than Metacham. This is such a bad lead, and our entire team kind of loses to Poliwrath. So what am I gonna do here? I no-shield the Icy Wind, and I'm hoping that they switch out into something that we can just rain down Hellfire on. They switch into Lickitung, and so this is really fun. We get to see the power of the Feraligatr with all this energy. Even though it's debuffed, we are still going to get to 3 Hydro Cannons. And this Lickitung is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the meta, but 3 debuffed Hydro Cannons is going to be enough to take them out. So we do force a shield here. Forcing a shield from a Lickitung with a Shadow Claw user, very satisfying here. We have a shield advantage. The Herdier is not going to be able to farm down before they reach 3 body slams. So that means that we have to either shield or catch a body slam. Possibly we can sneak through a full incinerate to that. That's another option. So let's see what we want to do. We're going to switch here, and we're going to try to incinerate them down. They do, of course, reach another body slam, which is not ideal. Maybe there was a way that I could maneuver my fast move damage to avoid taking that body slam. But just to be safe, we shield it up because we know that we need to take out this Poliwrath with our Crocalor. But they could just Icy Wind us here, and we would have to respect it. So if they Icy Wind us, I think it's just game over, because we're scared of a Scald. We have to shield. They Scald, and thankfully they don't get the debuff, and they have a Registeel in the back, and all of a sudden, what seemed like a horrible situation is now totally winnable. We go up to a charge move on our Crocalor, and like this, we should just be able to win the game, because they are never going to be able to farm down a Pokemon with lock-ons, and Crocalor does win CMP over the Poliwrath. So yeah, they would not have been able to farm up to a move there with their Registeel, and even if they were at a move with the Poliwrath, we just take them out with a Disarming Voice, and that is a good game. Very fortunate that they threw the Scald and it didn't debuff, but regardless, I was really happy with that win just because my entire team loses to Poliwrath. But as you can see, it still has play, and we definitely didn't play that secondary matchup perfectly versus the Lickitung, because we did end up shielding up a body slam. But regardless, I had a lot of fun with this team. If you guys have these 3 Pokemon, if you can try it out, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you're using in this new season and how it's going for you. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.